Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you
How are
today?
you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, I'm well.
What about your weekend?
Uh, it's normal, nothing special.
What did you
But
do?
I enjoyed. I just stayed at home, take rest, and also I visit my grandmother like another weekend.
Oh, yes, you visit your grandmother every Sunday, right?
Yes,
Okay, well, that's very nice. At least you take some rest.
yeah. And I went out to eat breakfast with my mother.
You had breakfast with your mother. Oh, that's really
Mm,
nice. What is a typical breakfast in Vietnam?
Uh, Noodle, many kinds of
Noodles.
yeah. For
It's
us,
so
no.
strange because here in America, when we think about noodles, we have them, first of all, if we feel sick.
Yeah.
Uh,
If you feel sick, you will have noodle.
yes, if we feel sick, we have a soup, um, or for dinner or lunch, but never for breakfast.
Wow.
For breakfast, it's very common that we have coffee, orange juice. Some people have cereal with milk,
Yes.
fruit, and pancakes or
Yeah,
eggs.
I have heard.
Eggs, it's very important for breakfast.
Yes,
So
that's
imagine
right.
like having soup for breakfast. It's like a little weird.
Ah. In Vietnam, it is very typical for Vietnamese people have some kinds of noodle or rice. We can eat rice at home, and some other people they would like to go out to have to have breakfast with their friends in the early morning, and it is very happy. There are many kinds of restaurants selling breakfast, and including dry pancake or many style of breakfast in all over the world, including Western or Asian.
Oh, okay. That sounds very nice. Yes, over here we do have restaurants that they offer breakfast
Yeah.
or brunch. You know what is brunch?
No.
Okay, brunch, it's a meal
Yeah.
that, for example, you don't have breakfast and you don't have lunch. So it's like a late breakfast and an early lunch. So you have
Breakfast,
brunch.
lunch, lunch, and dinner, right?
No, only
Breakfast, lunch.
breakfast and lunch.
Ah,
So you
yeah.
have it like in the middle of the morning, like, I don't know,
Okay.
9 or 10, and you call it
Maybe
brunch. So you don't have
yes.
breakfast, you don't have lunch, you have brunch. And
Okay.
that is very popular and very common here, especially over the weekends. Or if you have a business meeting, they get together and they discuss business and they have brunch.
Okay. That's right.
All right, let's get down to business. Talk to me about your homework.
Yeah, I did your homework and I sent you before. I say that this homework is quite hard because this is multiple graph and I need to use many different structures and comparison structure to compare the information or the statistic into graphs, and then it takes me over time over 20 minutes to finish.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel quite scared, I feel quite afraid when doing it in the examination.
Okay.
Yes.
Remember that think about it like this is the first time that you are taking a task, an actual reading exam, a task for this exam. So
Yes.
it's okay that if it took you more than you were expecting, the idea is that you are able to reduce that time and to complete this in this amount of time. That is why we're going to practice.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
So don't worry about it. Um, because I had to say I was a little sick. I don't know. I have a contraction here on my back, so I wasn't able to move my hand. I do have your homework, but I couldn't make the review, but I will send it to you before Wednesday. And also I'm going
Okay.
to send to you the homework. Um,
Mm.
this homework that I'm going to leave you today, you can have it for Friday. Yeah, for Friday. Okay, so you can have a whole week because I know that you also work and do your things, and I know that it can be very exhausting to be sitting for hours in front of the computer, and when you're done working, the less that you want to do is to continue on the computer. Well, at least that's what happens to me when I finish my, I call it my shift, my morning shift, and when I'm done with it, I don't want to see the computer in a long time.
Me too. The whole Sunday, I never sit in front of the computer because I feel very, very boring and it makes me extremely tired. That's why I usually hang out or do another activities instead of sitting in front of the computer and working.
Okay, very good. Remember, I feel very bored. Bored, when you
Yeah,
finish,
okay.
ed is for how you feel, ing
Yes.
is for a situation.
Okay.
Uh, so you have Sundays off. You don't work on Sundays.
Yes, I don't work on Sunday and I never do anything on Sunday because this is the only day in the week that I have a day off. So I want to enjoy my time, enjoy the weekend, and sometimes I go out to travel. Yeah, on Sunday.
Oh, I work every day. I don't have a day
Yes.
off, but on Wednesdays, my Wednesdays, I work in the morning and then I don't work in the rest of the day. So it's like my day, and also
Yeah.
on Saturdays. On Saturdays, I just work 2 hours in the morning and then I don't work at the rest of the day. But I do work.
That's
Right now it's Sunday and it's 7:10 on Sunday.
yeah. I am a PM, right?
PM, 7 p.m.
Okay.
on Sunday. I know that it's your morning time.
Yes, this is my morning time. Right. And normally, Saturday I am very busy. I work from the early in the morning from 8 a.m. until the late of night. For example, to 11 p.m. and I work the whole day. And no, I don't have the time off throughout this day, so
You
I
don't
feel
have
very tired.
any hour
Yes,
off on Saturdays?
yes, yes.
Oh my God. And how do you do to eat?
When I let my student to exercise, I will go to the kitchen to find something to eat, and then when I finish, I return and continue teaching. They will wait for me a little.
Oh wow. Sometimes I do the same because I start working at sometimes at 4 a.m. until
Yeah, wow.
10 a.m. my time. So
Mm,
during classes, I have to be really quick, like in 5 minutes, to prepare breakfast for me,
yeah.
for my daughter. Um,
Okay.
Sometimes when a student just call off. So I was like, oh my God, yeah, I can take a quick shower and I can bath my daughter.
Yeah.
And when I have that hour, let's say from 7 to 8, sometimes I feel like, oh my God, I have a lot of time.
Yes. Sometimes I have some classes off. I feel very happy instead of feel angry because I feel like, well, I have a time like you. It's very amazing. You can do a lot of things. You can spend this time to rest, or I can spend this time resting, and also I can maybe hang out a little to have a coffee to relax. So I enjoy many classes off.
I know, but working, so you work like 10 hours or more than 12 hours on Saturdays?
Yeah, more than 12 hours. Mm, to for another as for another days in the week, I usually work from uh, on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I work from 8 a.m. until 11 or 12 p.m. 11 or 12 a.m. It means to the midnight, and then to Saturday, no, Tuesday and Thursday, and we work from 12 p.m. to 11 p.m.
But that's a
Yeah,
lot of hours.
yes.
Oh
I
my
work
God.
overtime, so I just have some morning off to do a little thing. And when I do the homework, it's in the time I teaching. When in some classes, I have some time to wait for my students to work or to do exercises, and then I will take this time to work and to do exercise, my own exercise.
Wow. You are a really hard working girl. And I thought that I was working too much.
No, actually I know that because I work both offline and online, and you only work online and you need to sit in front of the computer for the whole day. It is exotic. I understand it. It's very exotic.
Yeah, it can be I really I really enjoy it. Every
Yeah.
student is different, and
Yes.
some students they need more attention and they need more guidance, and I
Yes.
need to be with them in every single um step of the way,
Yes.
because sometimes they don't understand like a simple sentence. The English is very basic. So I need to be with them and explain every word, and I can make drawings, and so it takes more time, and these classes can be more exhausting.
Yes.
But when
I
you reach to a
understand the
student
situation.
that it has a high level, so you just sit back and relax and feel like you're having a conversation. So it's different.
Yes.
Okay, let's get started. For today, we're going to review a little bit about intonation.
Yes.
Then we're going to review more tips for speaking. We're going to practice speaking again and
Yes.
review the homework. Okay? Here
Okay.
we go. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Awesome. So this is very simple actually. I just wanted to review with you. Common intonation patterns. When you have yes no questions, for example, did you see that movie yet? Did you see that movie yet? Rising
Yeah.
intonation at the end of the sentence. Whenever you have a yes no question, the intonation goes at the end of the sentence. Did you see that
Okay.
movie yet? Can you repeat it?
Yeah. Yeah. Did you see that movie yet?
Excellent, very good. WH questions. Falling intonation at the end of the sentence. Okay? Here is rising,
Yeah.
here is falling. Where did I put my keys? Where did I put my keys? Okay, the intonation falls at the end. Where
Okay.
did I put my keys? Can you repeat that?
Yes. Where did I put my keys?
Correct. Very good. Now with tag questions. Tag question asking for confirmation of information. Rising, rising intonation at the end of the sentence. When the speaker is not confident in the answer to the tag question and is asking for an answer. For example, you are going out tonight, aren't you? You see this question? Aren't you? I am
Yes.
raising the intonation
Yes.
because this is a tag question and I am not confident about the answer. I don't know. Okay? I don't
Yeah.
know if you're going out. So, you're going out tonight, aren't you? Okay? Or like, you have classes later on. Do you?
Okay.
Okay, can you practice that?
Yes. You're going out tonight, aren't you?
Very good. Here, this one.
Yeah. You wanted more homework, didn't you?
Excellent. That was pretty good. Remember that at the beginning, it's going to be like exaggerating, but
Yes.
it's just to practice. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
Tag questions that do not seek for information. Falling intonation. When you ask for information, rising intonation. When you do not seek for information, falling intonation. I am going to send you this in case you want to review it.
Yes. I will review it more.
Yes. Rising intonation at the end of the sentence. Okay, here, falling. When a speaker is very confident in his or her knowledge and does not seek for confirmation. For example, the Chicago Manual of Style, 15th edition, 2003, allows for a style. Well, this is not important. This can just here. Example. I asked you to clean your room, didn't I? Okay? Over
Yes.
here, if you can notice, here when I say aren't you, I express more like aren't you? Here, I asked you to clean your room, didn't I? Okay, the intonation is not so strong. It just goes down.
Yes.
Okay, what about this one?
She is beautiful, isn't she?
Correct. Very good. So this is just very simple. Just to review about the intonation, I am going to send you this at the end
Yes.
of the sentence. I cannot take a screenshot right now because for some reason, I don't know if it happens to you, but when I am recording the class, I cannot take screenshots. I don't know why.
Yes. Because
It happens the
I,
same to you?
I have I have the same situation to you. Whenever I use recorder, I cannot take a screen.
Yes, it's because I think that over have the option to take a screenshot using the same program, but it's very
Yes.
complicated. I don't know how to do it.
You can also press some button on the keyboard.
Yes,
But
but
I'm not,
I don't, it doesn't work.
yes, but I'm not sure is this correct in this.
No, I cannot do it because I already, no, it doesn't. It doesn't take the screenshot. I don't know why, but I am going to send it to you at the end of the class. Don't worry.
Yes. No problem. You can send to me later.
Okay, here. Now, tips for speaking. Give a full answer. Don't just give one-word answers. Include.
Sorry, I cannot hear you clearly. Can you call me again?
Sure, I can. Here.
Yes.
Okay. Can you
Okay,
hear me
hello.
better?
Yes, it's better now.
Okay. Okay, here. Give a full answer. Don't just give one word answers, include more information. For example, when asked where you're from, instead of just saying I'm from Vietnam, speak in a sentence which states the name, the location, and how long have you been there. For example, I'm from Vietnam and I have been living in Da Nang for the last 10 years, but actually I am from Hanoi. I don't know, I'm just saying the names that I know from Vietnam. This shows the examiner you are confident in speaking English. But don't speak too long or the examiner will think you've misunderstood the question, okay? So it's just like a game when you give a little more but not too much.
Yes.
Okay, can you please read number 2?
Okay.
Okay, what do you
Okay.
think about this one? Speak
Yes.
clearly, don't worry about your accent.
I think it's very necessary for me because sometimes when I realize my accents or my mistakes, I will correct it immediately. And I also recognize that if I do it, it will interrupt my influences, and it's not good to in the examination.
Okay, this is the keyword rehearse.
Okay.
This is what you're doing. In every class, we have rehearsals, we have practices.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
Number 3, use descriptive words. Don't use boring words like good, bad, nice, or okay. Use exciting words that convey emotion. Practice using higher level words for every simple word you know, such as thrilled instead of happy, or depressed instead of sad. For
Okay.
example, when we have our conversations about family, about job, about your studies, try to
Yes.
use these kind of words so you can rehearse them and they become more natural to you.
Okay.
Can you please read up, speak number 4? Read it out loud.
Yes. Read aloud.
Yes, please.
Yes. Speak up. Sometimes students mumble or speak very softly because they are nervous and unsure of their words. Use simple, correct language rather than complicated vocabulary and speak loudly enough that the examiner does not have the strength to hear you. This indicates self-confidence and command of the language.
Very good. Vocabulary.
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 One more time. Vocabulary.
Vocabulary.
Very good. Command.
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 Awesome. Don't use slang. You have 11 minutes to display the best English you know in all the years that you have been learning English. Choose to be formal rather than informal.
Okay.
But actually, I don't think this is a problem for you because in the time that we have been practicing, I haven't heard you use any slang. So this is good. Keep a steady pace. Don't speak too fast or too slow.
Yes.
We already practiced that, and I think in the last class,
Yes.
and you already are more aware of that. Very good. Can you please read number 7?
Yes. Read aloud,
Yes,
right?
please.
Yes. Don't try to memorize answers to sample subjects. The examiner, the examiner has enough experience to recognize that you are not speaking naturally and spontaneously and will change the subject or give you a lower score. Use the sample subjects to give you practice speaking on variety of topics, but not to memorize.
Very good. How can you avoid this? How can you avoid not to memorize? How can you sound more natural and spontaneous?
I just do many simple things like I never learn by heart. I just learn by the logical thing in my mind. I will think about the subject. I will think about the topic, and then I have a mind mapping. And thanks to the mind mapping, I can collect a lot of ideas related to different objects, and some of those ideas I can use for a variety of object. That's why I don't feel really worry about the strange object because I can think immediately and use the old idea for the new topic.
That is correct. Very good. And the most important is practice, rehearse,
Yes,
so you can feel prepared, okay? Like,
yes,
I know what I'm doing, I know what I'm coming from, and I know what I'm going to do, so there's no surprises. Sometimes
okay.
what it makes us feel scared is that we don't know how is it going to be. So that makes us feel
Yes,
scared, and the factor of surprise is what affected our scores.
okay.
Okay? Explain names or words which are in another language. For instance, if you are asked to speak about a festival which involves using words in your language, say the words clearly and give the meaning, if any, afterwards, so the examiner can follow your explanation. For example, when I ask you, so what is a typical breakfast in Vietnam? You said pho. I don't know what is pho. So immediately you explain, pho is a kind of soup that contains noodles, and I
Yes,
don't know the rest of the ingredients, but you follow the idea.
yeah, okay.
Or for example, another thing that they can ask, it's about holidays, especially if you are from another country like Vietnam. You are very well known for your holidays. So the most important one that you have is Tet holiday. So
Yes,
I don't know what it means Tet, and I know that it's a Vietnamese word. So just try to
yes,
give like a little definition for that. Practice
okay.
speaking with a watch. Get an idea of how long 2 minutes is and approximately how much content you will have to cover. This is very important. Okay, we are going to start. Actually, there is a program that you can use that it's like a counter. So we can have to record the 2 minutes
Yes,
because this is very important. So in 2 minutes, you have to give an introduction, a development, and a conclusion.
okay.
Stay on the topic, don't change the subject, or the examiner will think you have misunderstood and may give you a lower mark. Have daily discussions with friends. Take turns asking each other questions about current events and develop your ability to speak about various topics using varied sentence structure and vocabulary. And this is pretty much what we do in our class.
Okay.
I am going to send you this. So here,
Yes.
let's get started. The first one is you. Remember that last class we discussed about your family and your work.
Okay.
Now, this one is pretty simple but very complex. You. Describe yourself. Have you ever, before we actually start, have you ever have the time to describe yourself to someone else?
Mm, by Vietnamese, not in English.
Okay, so now we're
Yes.
going to start because this is a very common question.
Okay.
Simple as describe yourself. So think before you actually do it. Think about, okay, there is a lot of things that I can say about myself. It's not like you're going to learn it by heart, but at least you can know for sure what kind of things you want to discuss.
Yes. I think I have an idea in my mind. I will discuss about my appearance and also my characteristics. And I want to plastic thinking while speaking because I know in the examination I don't have enough time to think about what I'm going to answer.
Correct? Okay. So over here, let's just to have, okay, let's just wait until it's 7:35 so we can know
Yes.
how much 2 minutes is.
Okay. Can I see your face because if you share your
Oh, yes,
screen, I
yes,
cannot
yes, 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 I
is it
remember that.
big enough?
Yes,
So I cannot focus my eyes.
yes, yes, I remember. I forgot about it. Okay, 20
Yes.
seconds, 15 seconds, 10, 5. Okay, you can start describing yourself.
Yes, everyone thinks that we can understand deeply and clearly about ourselves, but actually it's not the right answer. Sometimes we can know who we are, but sometimes we can understand what we really want. And me too, in my opinion, I'm a complex person. It's not only proved by my appearance, but also my characteristics. And firstly, you like to tell you, I would like to show you my appearance. As you say, I'm quite tall. I am six. No, I am 1.68 meters, and my weight is over 60 kilograms. So many people think that I'm a fat person, but I love my body because I can. It's easy for me to be higher than another person. I feel it's very interesting when another person need to look up me and something like that. My mother says that I'm very beautiful because I look like my mother, and I chooses them. I understand, appreciate my mother saying. I believe in my mother. I am always confident in myself because if I'm not confident in myself, no one can confide in me, and no one can help me to feel more confident. That's why I feel very happy. And through the way I think about my appearance, my characteristic is also strong. My students said that I'm very kindful because I usually help them to do a lot of things. I can help them to show a lot of problems in their life. Moreover, I'm a hardworking person. I like working. I can work over 10 or 12 hours per day, and I'm very caring. Because I work as a teacher, so if I'm not caring, I cannot take care of my grandmother, my mother, who I am.
Sorry to interrupt. There's 2 minutes.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, so we are going to practice this because we really need to make in 2 minutes what
Okay,
we
I know.
want. I noticed at the beginning you start with a beautiful introduction, but I knew at the moment for that introduction that what you are going to say, it will take longer than
Okay.
2 minutes.
Yes.
So maybe you can keep your answers like short, direct, always using higher vocabulary. For
Yes.
example, okay, describe myself. I also never got the opportunity to describe myself. Um, and I honestly believe that this is a really hard question. Okay, let's see. I got 2 minutes on the clock in now. Okay, um, if I describe myself from what you look at me, I'm a very short person and I am kind of thin. I less weight less than 100 pounds, and I don't get to 1.50 centimeters. So I am very short and very thin. People say that I don't look like 32 years old. Sometimes they say that I look younger, which just makes me happy. Things that I really like, my passion is religion. That is a really interesting topic to me. So if I get the opportunity to talk to you, I will always going to mention religion because it's a very important to me. Things that I don't like, I have to say that I don't like sports, any sports. I don't like football. I don't like soccer. I hate volleyball, but I do like to exercise because I like to keep myself fit. And the thing that I enjoy the most in this world is eating. I love food and I love desserts. I love to have a dessert after my lunch. And I have to say also that I love sleep in. But I have a baby daughter, so that is not possible nowadays. But I hope in the future I will get the time to sleep more. Other than that, I'm a very serious person. I'm not very talkative a lot, and I enjoy stay at home with my family. 2 minutes.
Wow,
Okay.
interestingly. It's amazing.
Okay. Do you want to try it again?
Yes, I will try it again.
Okay. I know that you want to do it without thinking what are you going to say. It's
Yeah.
totally okay, and I think it's really good. But right now, we are practicing. So, what do I want? I want you to practice, to take your time to think, okay, I want to say this, to organize your ideas, to organize your thoughts. Once you
Yes.
have them organized, then
Okay.
the rest, you can just talk about it. All right?
Yes.
Okay, just a second. In 10 seconds. Oh no, I'm sorry. You let me know when you're ready.
Okay. Yes. I think I'm ready now.
Perfect. So let me see.
Yeah.
20 seconds. So we can start on the dot.
Yes.
15, 10, 5. Okay, you can start describing
Okay.
yourself.
Yes. If I have a chance to describe myself, I will use just one adjective. I am very strong. I'm strong not only in my appearance but also in my characteristics. You see, I'm quite tall and fat. That's why I look very strong like a man and I can protect another person. Moreover, my style is quite strong too. I like a big t-shirt and there's some kinds of clothes that fit my body and it's easy for me to do some exercise or do a lot of activities during the day. Make me very comfortable. And the thing that I like most about my appearance is my face because whenever I look at my face and I smile with myself in front of my mirror, I feel very happy and I feel more confident in myself. Besides the appearance, my characteristic is strong too. I am an understanding and strong-minded person. I will be always be a listener to another person, and I will listen to their advice, to their opinions about anything in my life. Then, when I decide to do something, I am extremely strong-minded because I never want to be easy to train myself my decision whenever I feel sure about this. And I think it's also my keep weaknesses because some people said that it's not good for me to keep my decision and don't want to change it. But it's okay. If I know it's wrong, I will fix it. I know it's right, I will continue to keep going. And then after the whole day, I can realize what I need to do and what I needn't to do. There are a lot of things that make me close to another person's because I like making friends and I'm quite talkative in sometimes, not always, but sometimes I'm talkative. I like talking and chatting, also sharing some things with another person in my life. And I also take time with my family because family is the most important thing in my life. I will mention it when I have more time to talk with you. Uh, yeah, and people think that I'm quite lovely girl because at the first time they see me, I look like cool. However, the second time, I always smile and it makes me more friendly. Is it easier for them to connect and make a friend with me? But it's very hard for them to become my best friend. Yeah, many opinions about myself. That's why I just believe in myself and do what I think I should do to give a good things for another person and myself too.
Okay, that is very great. It took you 3 minutes to do that,
Yeah.
but I didn't want it to stop you because you were doing good on your fluency. So here, now just repeat these words after me. Ourself,
Yes. Ourself.
characteristics,
Characteristic.
characteristics.
Yeah. Characteristic.
Perfect, just like that. You used a sentence and you said, the thing that I like the most about myself is my face. That's
Yes.
great, but what do you think if instead of thing we say the feature I like the
Okay.
most about myself is my face? You
It's
see,
better.
we change
Yes.
thing, that is a very simple word, for feature. All
Yes.
right? So those are the things that
Okay.
we need to work. I am going to
Okay.
send this to you so you can just remember
Yes.
here. Okay, very good.
Characteristic.
Yeah, I have here some examples that I want you to listen
Yes.
because we are running out of time and I do want you to listen to these examples. Okay?
Yes.
Here we go. Okay. I was also searching. When I have a class with you, I have to say that I search a lot and I gather a lot of information and things and tips that everything that can help you. And I
Yes.
found this and I thought that it was really important because this is an example of the examiner talking to a student. So here, let's listen.
Now, in this first part, I'd like to ask you some more questions about yourself. Okay? Let's talk about your hometown or village. What kind of place is it?
It's quite a small village, about 20 kilometers from Zurich, and it's very quiet, and we have only two little shops, because most of the people work in Zurich or
Right.
are orientated to the city.
What's the most interesting part of this place, the village?
On the top of a hill we have a little castle, which is very old and quite well known in Switzerland.
What kind of jobs do people in the village do?
We have some farmers in the village, as well as people who work in Zurich as bankers or journalists, or there are also teachers and some doctors, or some medicines.
Right. Would you say it's a good place to live?
Yes, although it is very quiet, people are friendly, and I would say it's a good place to live there, yes.
Let's move on to talk about accommodation. Tell me about the kind of accommodation you live in.
All right. What do you
Yes.
think? Could you understand something? The accent, he
Yeah,
was
I
from
can
another
understand.
totally accent, right?
Yeah, I can understand clearly about the scenes of examiner. However, I cannot understand all the answers of the the students, the candidate,
Oh, because he
because
has a very difficult accent. He said that he's from Zurich.
yeah,
So here, right now, here is the transcript. So I will play it again. Can you hear me okay?
yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm going to play it again, and here is the transcript. So you can listen
Yes.
and read.
Yeah.
Now, in this first part, I'd like to ask you some more questions about yourself.
Okay?
Let's talk about your hometown or village. What kind of place is it?
It's quite a small village, about 20 kilometers from Zurich, and it's very quiet, and we have only two little shops, because most of the people work in Zurich or
Right.
are orientated to the city.
What's the most interesting part of this place, the village?
On the top of a hill we have a little castle, which is very old and quite well known in Switzerland.
What kind of jobs do people in the village do?
We have some farmers in the village, as well as people who work in Zurich as bankers or journalists, or there are also teachers and some doctors, or some medicines.
Right. Would you say it's a good place to live?
Yes, although it is very quiet, people are friendly, and I would say it's a good place to live there, yes.
Let's move on to talk about accommodation. Tell me about the kind of accommodation you live in.
Okay, now that you see this and you have an idea of how is it going to be, I would like you to read this and you tell me yourself some changes to improve his answers, some mistakes that you are not going to make. For example, first, what do you think about his language?
I think his language is quite great.
Okay. Do you think
Yeah.
is basic or it's a little higher?
I think he's a little higher in the first answer, but to another answers is very basic.
Very
As he
basic,
just
yes.
as he just only two words in a higher level of vocabulary.
Very good. That's correct. What do you think about his fluency when he speaks?
His fluency is not really good because the way he start his sentence is not suitable, and moreover, sometimes he repeat and he stop the sentence
Yeah, like
with the
here, like he
only
made
yeah
mistakes.
yes, and also the sentence at the end of the conversation of the candidate
Okay, very good.
on it is that
For
although it
example,
is
in this question, what kind of jobs do people in the village do? What do you think about his answer?
it answers very internal. It's very general, nothing special. I think if I were him, I would talk more about some kinds of famous or common job, and I would describe later why people have a trend to choose those jobs instead of another things.
For example, here he's mentioned some medicines. Like medicines is
Yes,
not a job.
yeah, medicines. Okay, medicines is a kind of drug. The other ways we the drug, why?
Yeah, you can.
Right?
Those are things that you can get in a drugstore, but it's not a
Yeah.
job.
Okay.
Very good. Okay, would you say it's a good place to live?
Uh, his answers I don't like much because he doesn't say much thing. He didn't share his idea. He just and he also repeat the information. It is very quiet. This is the thing that he mentioned above, and then he also repeat the question. I would say it is a good place to live there. In this case, he should paraphrase.
Correct. Very
Okay.
good. No, I really love the way that you identify some mistakes so you're aware that you're not going to make them.
Okay.
Okay, tell me, do you have any question, comment, feedback, something that you would like to add?
Actually, I don't know what I need to ask you now because everything seems okay. Mm, but I want to ask you about the ways to learn listening and reading skills because I think that those skills are not really good.
Okay, I can put some more of those skills in class.
Yes,
Okay.
and also the way I practice at